afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited to be here today, and I want to thank the leadership for giving me the privilege to speak to you. My name is Namonebi Andrea. I'm a thought leader, leadership and life coach, and an author of 3 books. My first book is titled The Detour, and it details my life story, the setbacks, hardships, and challenges that I have encountered. And through my experience, I've come to realize that every detour that I encounter continues to open me up to a place of attentiveness where I accept all my setbacks, hardships, and challenges, not only as something that is inevitable, but also as an instrument that introduces me to me on many levels. And that focus has helped me to direct my energy and also devote my efforts into the things that I can change and not on the things that I can't. And that's why I decided to document my story so that people can look at my message as a guiding star while they continue their own journey in this life. And my second book is titled Foresight Mindset, Shaping Your Future. And it's about understanding that life must not be lived outside in. It has to be lived inside out, no matter what is happening outside. Because when we live life outside in, as opposed to inside out, we just empower our own selves internally. And we empower things that are outside of us, that are designed as tools of what we should come into terms with inside of us. And I share practical steps on how you can begin living life inside out while you prepare for the future that you have envisioned. And my third book is titled Needy, Why Validation is Destroying Us, which is also the center or the focus of our today's conversation. And that book didn't start as an idea. It started as a conversation with this man here, David. And I'm so excited to be here and to share this with you. A few weeks ago, I met a reader who had just finished reading Needy. And he said to me, I love your message, but I do have a question for you. And I love questions. I strongly believe it's not the answer that enlightens. It is always the question. As a matter of fact, knowledge was never meant to be received with acceptance. Knowledge must be received with curiosity. So whenever you come into contact with knowledge, don't accept it, question it. As a matter of fact, in a world that is drowning in noise and information, your greatest skill is not absorbing more information. It's knowing what to ignore. And you only know what to ignore when you question what you hear. You can quote me on that one, right? In a world that is drowning in noise and information, your greatest skill is not absorbing more information. It's knowing what to ignore. And so he went further and he asked me, he said, how did we get to a point where validation is destroying us? And I said to him, to understand where we are and where we are going, we must first have the clarity of where we are coming from. And since creation, humanity has evolved through different ages. We first had what we called the Stone Age, when life was for the strong. And then we moved into the Iron Age, when the strong still acted in a superior manner towards the weak. Then came the Golden Age, when wealth took place of strength. And now we are in the Mental Age. And most people have no idea here that we are now living in the Mental Age. This is an age where every human being is supposed to be a master of their life. This is an age when your greatest power is not strength and not even money. It's your mind. But we have given that away to neediness. We have handed over control of our thoughts, identity, to validation. Do you get what I'm saying? So your power, therefore, is to begin to force the world to yourself. It was George Bernard Shaw who once said, the reasonable man adapts himself to the world, and the unreasonable man forces the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. And that's what it means to be in the mental age. That's what it means to influence your thoughts and your actions so deeply that you begin to shape the world around you. And yet, most of us, we have given that mastery away. You know, I believe one of the greatest tragedies of our time is that we are the only species who knows what it means to be everything else except for what it means to be human. You know, that's very sad. We have studied animals. We have studied machines. We have studied systems, and yet we haven't mastered ourselves. You know, every human being has two parts. We have what I call the features, and we have what I call essence. Features are what people recognize in a moment or a season. Things like your face, your voice, your accomplishments, and your titles. But those things, they fade. Essence, on the other hand, is who you truly are, your character, and your values. And history has shown us over and over that when humans disconnect themselves from their essence, they become dangerous. That's why history remembers Adolf Hitler as inhuman. Even though he had the features, the platform, the power, and the title, he was inhuman. So what does it mean to be human? To be human simply means to live your life from your essence. And essence is expressed through three unique capabilities. The first one is to love. To love is to eliminate fear around you. You know, I've often heard people say, dogs love. No, dogs don't love. To truly love, you must first have the power to hate and choose love in spite of it. That's genuine love. Dogs are conditioned to love. They are trained to love. They don't have the power to hate. And the second one is what I call to give. To give is to empower a world beyond the one that you know. When your parents are paying school fees for you here, they are not giving. It's their responsibility. They are expected to help you to fulfill your dreams. But when you give to someone you don't know, that's what we call giving. When you show up for someone you are not related to, that's what we call giving. And the third one is to serve. And to serve is to solve demonstrable problems and to advance your vision in the hearts of other people. And that's the center or the core of the work that I do. Everything that I do is guided by one mission: to advance my vision in the hearts of other people. At the end of my life, I want to raise at least 8 million people who are going to exchange their time and resources with the ideas that I represent. You know, I had a friend of mine, he lives in the US, and he called me and said, Namon, I just made it, brother. I said, okay, that sounds good. I'm happy for you. What did you do? He said, I just bought a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon. I was like, wow, okay. But do you know what it means to make it in America? The country of the first world billionaire, Johnny D. Rockefeller. The country of founders of Google, Microsoft, Chase Bank, Facebook. Do you know what it means to make it in the USA? The guys who are making it in the USA are those who have changed how we think, how we live, and how we walk, and how we show up in our everyday life. They had a vision that was driving them, and they advanced that vision in the hearts of other people. And I always say some people are so poor that the only thing they have is just money. To truly be successful, you must have a vision that is driving you and showing up for that vision in a way that is going to transform other people's lives. Success in life must not be a goal. Success is an experience. It is something that happens to you when you are busy showing up for your goals and your dreams. That's a true success. You know, so what happens, therefore, when we are not living in our essence is that we look functional outside, but inside we are lost. I want to say this, and I said carefully. We are not normal as we think we are. We are not normal as we think we are. And we have two types of lunatics. We have what I call extreme lunatics, and we have what I call docile lunatics. Extreme lunatics are the ones we see naked on the streets every day eating from trash bins. Docile lunatics are the ones who drive big cars. They live in mansions, and they put on nice clothes. Please hear me and hear me very well. You can look normal by the test of popularity. By the test of meaning, essence, and purpose, you can be completely insane. Popularity, guys, does not confer legitimacy or authenticity. Just because everybody claims this is the way forward, it doesn't make it the way forward. That's why you have to stand yourself and question everything that is happening around you. Popularity in life does not confer legitimacy or authenticity. So both lunatics has one thing in common. They can live where they are without a mental picture of where they are going. There is nobody normal who can live where they are without a mental picture of where they are going. When David stands up on this chair, he already have a mental picture of where he's going. Have you noticed, even when you are tired sitting at home and you just want to take a walk, you already have a mental picture of where you are going. You can't just keep walking to nowhere simply because you have decided to take a walk. Otherwise, your friends and your family are going to be worried about you. You know? So that's a definition for extreme lunatics. For docile lunatics, how does that define their lunacy? You know, people move into a whole day. They woke up today without a mental picture of what they wanted to see today. People move into a whole week without a mental picture of what they wanted to see in that week. People move into a whole month and even a whole year without a mental picture of what they wanted to see in that year. Outside, they look normal, but inside, they are completely insane. So guys, in closing, if you are going to ask me, how do you get outside of validation? It starts by finding purpose or meaning in life. Most people, the reason most people are needy, it's not because they need validation, but it's because they don't know what they need, and what they need is the reason to exist. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.